I'm clutch, I'm clutch. I'm clutch, I'm clutch, I'm clutch, I'm clutch, I'm clutch.
Shooting a still cool social story piece for Lululemon around Sydney Marathon, which is like 10 days away. We're in the dungeon, we've done plenty of Ks in here on this treadie, which has been awesome, thanks to Nordic Track.
How are you feeling pre-marathon?
Oh, pretty nervous to be honest. Training hasn't been ideal, but once you're in it, that's kind of what I like to do. Did a bit of marathon pace, probably about 15 Ks on Sunday, which felt tough, but good, around Centennial Park. So a few small hills, and that was solo. So I think once you get into a pack and around some people running that pace as well, it takes your mind out of it and becomes slightly easier. But yeah, keen as to rip it and see where we're at.
How many times have you done Sydney Marathon?
This is the third time. Did it the year before, it was a major. Last year, first major. And then back again. So 2:48 last year. No, sorry, 2:48 my first year. Paced a mate to 2:55 last year, which was good. And ran a 2:44 in New York, so the goal's 2:40. It's a steep goal, but what's life without goals?
So you're going to see any peripherals basically when he's about to get to 3, 2.
Done. Jimbo. What's going on, cutie boy? Smile for the camera. Give us a smile. Good boy.
See where he vomited on me? It went all down.
Anyway, we've got some Rhise protein, WPI vanilla. Alright, we're in the shed. We've got an event tonight with Adidas at Fox Studios. So we've been canning. We canned about 100 of each hydration flavour. And then we've also been canning our WPI. So, nice wood canning machine here. We've got chocolate, we've got vanilla. We've got Rufus who's keen on a shake.
You like this song, please? I'm unhappy with my song choice, but anyway. There's nothing we can do now.
Alright, it is 7:20 on Friday morning. I went through a terrible sleep last night with Flynn being awake, and I feel like I'm on the brink of getting sick. But anyway, I was going to get up early and go for my run, but I thought I should get a little bit more sleep. Try and prioritise that at the moment. Yeah, training hasn't been great this week. Been very busy with work and family stuff, so got a text from my coach yesterday asking me if I was alive. I'm going to try and get a session in today, probably some VO2 stuff, and then some easy runs across the weekend, maybe a couple of hill repeats, and then a couple of early sessions next week, and then recover. Trying to get in the sauna every day for the next probably 5 days. 30 minutes super hot, and use that as some training as well. Last night we had a sick event with Rhise. It was with like Sydney Run Club and Adidas. They took over the go-kart track, but it was so hectic and so busy that I didn't even film anything. So hopefully I can find some footage from someone to put in here, because that was awesome. We had hydration to start with, both in cans. We filled up a whole fridge. Hydration in cans. Then we had some hydration at the start of the track where people were going in and out. It was like a 400 and 800 meter race, and then a relay. And then we did recharge and also protein in cans. So it was great. It's always awesome going out there and seeing people and then getting their feedback and everyone loving it or saying they've seen the brand around and things like that. So that's always cool. Today we've got just a lot of computer work and admin to keep up with. Obviously Sydney Marathon next week. We've got some shakeout runs at the record store with Lululemon, which is going to be super awesome. they're putting on an absolute clinic across the weekend. So starting from Friday, we'll be there Thursday filling up stuff. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, after party with Tempo Journal. So there's plenty happening. I'm going to go probably hit this run on the treadmill. I wanted to run outside, but we'll see. Anyway, bit of a boring morning for you guys. Off to feed Flynn. Big boy's getting 150 mil. Hopefully he loves me for that. Performance Fuel Mango Passion Fruit in here. 4 scoops of raspberry endurance in here. I'm going to head out and try to get 2 hours on the legs. Probably going to run a bit of the second third of the race, so from Centennial, warm up there, then out to Kensington and back, and around there. So try to get a little bit of pace in the legs, nothing too serious. We're not going to get fitter this close to the race, but just get some time on the legs, in the shoes, fuel, and that's it. It's been a terrible week of training, but we roll with those ones. Been a big week of business, big week of life. Plenty of events on, plenty of moves being made that have required a lot of focus. So that's what's important, and it's a privilege to be racing. So we'll take it as it is. All right, we're at Centennial Park. There's a bit going on. There's AFL and NRL over at Moore Park, so the park is packed. Gonna try 2.5 hours, I think, and run a fair bit of the Sydney Mara section, the middle section. We'll warm up round Centennial for a lap, then we'll head out Driver Avenue if we can, up a bit of Moore Park Road, then, which is after Centennial Park in the race, but we'll get that done early. And then from there, we're going to go out to Kensington, run that section, obviously relatively flat. Then we'll come back and we might go to the city. We'll see what time we're at, what K we're at. But nothing too serious, just some easy Ks, some time on the legs. Hasn't been the best week, as I've mentioned. Definitely not the best prep for a marathon, but I honestly think once you run a few of these, it's all in your head. It's going to be hard regardless, so just depends how hard you're willing to push it and hold on. So hopefully we're strong up top, and we can continue pushing, getting a good bunch. I'll go through some race strategy a bit later, which I've been sort of thinking about over the last week. Obviously the first 5k of Sydney's downhill, so how do we approach that? Yeah, we'll go through that in a bit, some fueling strategies, but for now, time to lace up and get out there and pound some pavement. Let's go. Warm up done, about 4.5 Ks. Got a new gel. This one's with caffeine. Pretty good, texture's not too bad. Probably a little bit watery. Slight, a little bitter, but I actually had one of these yesterday and it was a little bit different. It's a problem of handmade samples, is can change. Yeah, that wasn't too bad. So I'd add 100 meg of caffeine, 200 meg of L-theanine, neutral flavour. Changing shoes, warmed up in the Super Blast 3s, New Balance Super Comp V6 will be my race shoe. Put these on, another lap of the park in the direction that little race, and then out of the park. 90 grams of carb here, and some extra gels. Warm up was average 4:03 on the dirt track in there, so try to stick it around that, maybe a few efforts faster. Alright, enough chat, let's get rolling. See you on the other side. 26 Ks, average 358, average heart rate 164, got up to 183, so there's a few stops in there for fuel. Felt good all things considered. I'm very happy with that. So a couple more runs this week, nothing too hectic, nothing too long, a little bit of intensity to start the week, and then it's just all about looking after the body and I try to get in the sauna most days up until Thursday, Friday. Get some ice baths in. Sleep isn't really happening at the moment, given Flynn. In sort of 3, maybe a 4-hour stretch at times. And then we're awake for an hour, so here's what it is. Shout out to all the mums and dads out there chasing their goals while having newborns in the trenches. It's definitely ain't easy, but it's always worthwhile. Maybe an Aperol de Savo to celebrate. Knocking off another week and 1 week out. Alright, straight into it. WPI, vanilla, 2 scoops, 50 grams of protein. Best tasting protein on the market by far. Maybe biased, but I don't care. Happy Sunday, y'all. Way to wrap up the week. With that run, obviously the only one, but anyway, we get it done. Enough excuses. Maybe controversial, but marathon's all in your head. Once you've done a few Ks, the wall's coming regardless, and it's just how hard you can hit that wall and smack straight through it. So hopefully come next week, I've got a bit of dog in me and we're able to do that, which will be cool. I'm keen as to get in the atmosphere and soak that in from the people on the streets and things like that, and once you get around Centennial, sort of where that wall is. So hopefully we can get through that, but I think that's all. Peace out.
Alright, Sydney Marathon race plan. Everyone says don't burn the matches too early, but that's exactly what I'm going to do. So 0 to 12 Ks, we know, relatively downhill. I feel like this is a way to make up some time and get ahead of your target. Not financial advice, so that is up to you how you take it, but I will be absolutely ascending it here. From there, we go through the city. We've got some nice, undulating hills up to Oxford Street. I would probably call it a hill, everyone's talking about it, so that's a good point of reference for you. From there, relatively downhill and along Anzac Parade until we hit Driver Avenue. That one is a little bit of a pinch. From there, we're into Church, Centennial Park. How many laps of Centennial Park we run? I hope you've run it anti-clockwise, because that's what we're about to do. Obviously, we get a nice downhill in there. There's a couple of pinches up throughout that, but hopefully we've got some friends and family and some cheer to get us around there. From there, out of that and into Moore Park. That is another bit of a pinch. That will probably test the legs, and as we know, the marathon kind of starts around that mark. That's where I think will probably be most of a bit of a cemetery, to be honest. People falling off the wagon, but that's where we eat them up and we just take them one by one. Into the Botanic Gardens, coming out of there, we all know that hurts, but once you're there, you're pretty much home and it's straight to the after party. So for me, 90 grams of carbs per hour is the goal. Obviously, I'm going to be getting that through a mixture of gels and our endurance product. And also going to probably get a bit of a hit at about 25 Ks with a bit of performance fuel as well. So we'll get that caffeine and then some Synactive and some nootropics to lock right in. But make sure you start your nutrition from the get-go. You don't want to get to here and think, shit, I didn't eat or take some gels or something like that, and you're chasing your tail. So that's the plan. I hope everyone has a great race out there. It's going to be great. We're obviously going for a PB, so the pressure is well and truly on. But thanks for watching the YouTube. Like, subscribe, and get around it. Let's go.